Hey, I want to talk to you real quick just about increasing the likelihood of people booking appointments with you, or an insight session, a strategy session, or booking, scheduling a meeting with you after a webinar, whatever it is, to get them to have that conversation where they open up and they share with you their goals. We talk about change. We want them to move to this other thing. But first, we want them to have a conversation with us. So when we talk about selling in stages, we get to that stage where now we want to figure out if they're the right kind of prospect. We want to qualify them. We want to ask them. But before we get there, they have to agree to come and do that. So there's two sort of topics that I want to talk about in this quick video. Is one are the 5 buying decisions, and 2 is around personal branding. Combining those 2 together will increase the likelihood of them saying yes to an appointment, and 2, showing up for that appointment and actually having the right kind of conversation. Now, most people get this wrong. I've been sharing this with clients this week. We've been talking about, especially in the education space, getting more people to say yes to an appointment. And so that's what we've been focusing on. And the biggest thing is that we say, okay, well, what are you asking them to come and do? And I said, well, I'm going to invite them in and we're going to take them for a tour. We're going to answer their questions. We're going to give them information. We're going to do all this stuff. But in reality, that's not really, yeah, that's what you're going to do, but that's not what people are looking for. That's not what they need. And that's not the thing that's going to give them a trigger, because if you put yourself against everybody else, everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody wants to sit down, ask them a bunch of questions, and then pitch them on something. So if you're going to pitch them differently, you want to understand what are you really selling to them. So go back to the 5 buying decisions. And this is something I do all the time in our trainings. This is a fundamental concept that when you really think about this, when you apply it to everything you're doing, you're going to go, makes sense. Now, before we do, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of the customer. Think like a buyer. Right? Don't think like a seller, think like a buyer, and how this would make you feel. The 5 buying decisions goes like this. First, the first decision that people make, they buy you. They decide whether they know you, they like you, they trust you. Think about if you go anywhere and you're going to buy something. If you don't like that person, if you feel like you don't really trust them, are you likely to move forward and start talking about yourself or your other things? Not really. So we have to sell ourselves first. The second decision they make is they buy your company. And if you're just on your own, it's still your company. They want to know, if you get hit by a bus, does this company deliver on what you're promising? Is this a company? Is this a brand that I can associate myself with and feel happy about doing business with these people as a whole? That's where shared values come into play. The third decision is, of course, they decide on the product. Is this what I want to buy? Then they decide the 4th decision on the price, and the 5th decision on the time. But where do most conversations start? Well, they say, yeah, what is it and how much is it? And so we get caught in that black hole, that hell of, and we answer all these questions. Well, it's this, and we go into features and benefits mode, and we get lost in doing all of those kinds of things. The truth is, we need to bring them back to that first buying decision and convince them that we're the right person to do business with. So we have to sell them and ourselves. It's not about come and talk to me about the product. It's not about come and talk about the service, the offer, the features, why we're different, blah, blah, blah. Nobody honestly cares about that. Ultimately, they're going to make a decision based on that information, but that's not what they're there for. Now flip it over to personal branding. If you're competing against a lot of other people doing the same thing, what's going to make you stand out? What's going to demonstrate value? Especially if you're doing high ticket sales, if you're trying to demonstrate your value versus other people, the number one value is going to be on you. Your ability to create an offer that resonates, it differentiates, it substantiates. The fact that you actually can think about their world differently than them. That's what they're buying. And so your personal brand is not the offer, the product, the service. It's about you and your unique ability to help them by understanding what's going on in their world, providing insights, asking good questions. We talked in a previous video, getting them to think differently about themselves will allow them to think differently about you. So your ability to get them to go, I trust this person. I like this person. And them to say, hey, you know what? Whether I decide to buy from them or not, I all of a sudden now have an ally. I have a resource. I have somebody that I trust enough to bounce these ideas off of. That's going to increase the likelihood of them wanting to spend more time with you. Because in all of this, that's what we're asking. We're saying, hey, do you like this? Let's spend some more time together. I know, and this is even applies to like a one-call sale. I do a lot of those myself, but ultimately they're going to say, yeah, you know what? I like what you're saying in this first minute. Let's talk for another 5. Let's talk for another 15. Let's talk for 20. Let's talk for an hour until I'm ready to buy. And this even happens in $10,000, $100,000 deals. They go, you're offering me something, some insight, some value, something that I'm not thinking about in my own business. I want to talk to you more. I want to listen to you more. Your product or service is going to help me solve things that maybe I wasn't even aware of. So we want to not just think about what they are thinking. We want to think about what they're not thinking about. Does that make sense? So again, making them think differently about themselves is your ability, your personal brand, getting them to go, you're not just a commodity. You're not just an extension of your website where they go, I can't find all the information, so I'll talk to you, and you just need to answer these questions. They need to see you as, whoa, what do you think about this? What about this? What about this? So your questions are, who else is involved in this? Have you thought about these things? What else happens if this goes on? Well, how long has that been happening? Oh, well, I imagine that this also happens. We have this experience in our business. We've seen other clients do this. Does that sound like what's happening to you? They go, yeah, that makes total sense. And we also have stories of our clients and other people who have done these things. Does that resonate? They go, yeah. So that's really where it comes. If you want people to spend more time with you, you want them to book an appointment, have an insight session, you're talking to them at a networking event where you're saying, hey, let's get together for coffee. They need to feel that, this person, 1, is not going to waste my time, right? That's what everybody's looking for. That 2, you're adding something of value to their life. And 3, if you have that kind of value for free, what would it mean if you were able to pay you? If they were able to pay you, what would they get? If you give them the free value, what does that paid value look like? That's how you demonstrate that value on that high level through your personal branding. If they don't see you as unique, as one of the same, they're going to say to you, hey, you know what? Just send me some information. You know what? That sounds good, but not right now. That sounds great, but what we're doing is good enough. If you can help them change the way they feel about today, you're going to bubble up their urgency to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should talk. Maybe we should do differently. And they're going to say, do you think you could help me with that? So anyways, that's my kind of rant, but those are the things you keep in mind. Your 5 buying decisions, your personal brand, making sure that you stay tight to that, buying from you first, and knowing who you are, what you represent, and what people know about you before they even make a decision to buy from you. So if that helps, push your comments below. Let me know how this is applying in your world and anything that this might help you with. Anyways, that's it for this. Talk to you soon. Hey, this is Joe Girard with Change Grow Achieve. Thanks for checking this out. Remember to subscribe and check out some of the other videos and resources we have. As a sales coach, I spend a lot of my time just helping people be less weird and more human with their customers. If we can help you and your high-performing team, reach out to us, let us know, and let's connect soon.